Good morning, free thinkers. I have been married going on 40 years. And I will tell you that when I got married, my wife was 19 and I was 22. I thought that this was going to be easy based on what I saw my mom and my dad went through, not understanding that this is a big shoes to step into. Very big shoes to step into because one, you have to be confident of being a man. Two, you have to be confident of being a husband. Three, you have to be confident of being a father. Four, you have to be confident to be a provider. And five, you have to be confident of being a protector. Okay? These are the things I didn't understand of what a father, a husband, and a man consist of because I saw my father do it and I thought it was just flawless. And I said to myself, when it's my turn, I know I could do it. Newsflash, I couldn't do it. Okay? At that age, when you see your parents do certain things, you just say to yourself, I know I could do better. Not understanding that this is a struggle each and every day to be married because of outside influence and sometimes the people right next to you influencing you. You have to be secure in being who you are as a man to understand that you're supposed to be the leader of the family. And if you're not the leader of the family, then things could go awry because there will be decisions made without your input. And by the time it's brought to your attention, you have no say in it. Now, if this keeps perpetuating, then eventually the person that you're married to or dating will not give you the respect to come talk to you about anything because you never established that in your relationship. And I think some marriages, that has not been established because we have allowed our partner or our significant other to take control of the relationship. And no man should make his wife take control of the relationship. No man. Um, for me, my story is that we got married young and again, didn't understand what it is to be a husband and a father, provider and protector. Um, I work to provide, and yes, I could protect my family, but didn't understand what it is to be a husband. Okay, it is a. It's not even a struggle. It is a. It is a lifestyle. Let me say this right. It is a lifestyle and understanding that you must have for your partner. Because if you don't understand it, then they will never come to you and tell you anything because they don't see the confidence or the guidance in you to lead them. And it's going to sound harsh, but some people have to be led because if they're not led in the right direction, then they'll go the wrong direction and they'll make that decision for themselves and drag you along with it. So for me, um, we were separated for a couple of years because we were not on the same page. And I don't blame her for any of the decisions she have made because when you have outside influence, including your family and your friends, and you don't have the structure in place or the guidance in place, then you're going to make your decision based on what people say to you or your family members say to you. And a lot of times, your family member, the outside influence, don't like who you select and tell you you could do better, as if they know better for you. Sometimes they do because they could see the red flags, and sometimes they don't see the red flag. They just don't think this is the person for you. So, um, again, back to what I was saying, we were separated for a couple of years, and due to outside influence, like I said, and my wife went on with her life, and I went on with my life. But I always had my sons with me, because that's what I said to her. I don't want nobody else raising my sons, so I always had my sons with me. And my sons see me get up every morning and go to work in a routine fashion. Um, when I said we went our separate ways, we went our separate ways as far as us, but we're always in our children's lives. We're always at our baseball game, basketball game, music lessons, guitar. We were always in their lives. Okay, we always kept them busy. But for us, we're not on this. We were not on the same page. And outside of that, I dated other women that had children, and it's funny because I learned that these women did not want me around my sons. I would have certain times where I put aside for my sons for us to go on, I call them excursions. We go to Ride Playland, Great Adventures, and these women will tell me that, why these kids not with their mother. And I kind of find it strange because I'm saying to myself, why are your kids not with their father? So after a while, I started talking to the OGs, and they're letting me know, well, they wouldn't follow me if they were women because I didn't put a structure in place. So you could take it two ways as a man, because then eventually you could go in the corner and wipe your eyes and say, woe is me, and you know become the victim, or you become the man. Those are the only two challenges you have: become the victim or become the man. I choose to become the man, and I learned that a lot of the things that I put in place, or I thought I put in place, were not being reinforced because I didn't reinforce them. And if you don't reinforce them, then the other person don't care about what you said to them. So long story short, after about a couple of years of seeing that this wasn't going to work, I had to change myself, and including the person that I was. So metaphorically, I killed that person. Metaphorically, I didn't kill myself, but I killed that person. Ideology, lifestyle. I had to get rid of that person out of my life, and I had to change and put structure in my life and boundaries. So my wife and I, it was my oldest son's birthday, and we went had a function for him, and we sat there and we were just laughing at every little thing that he did, and we turned to each other and said, it was just funny. We said to each other, we have to have a conversation. And after my son's birthday party, we sat and have a conversation, and she basically let me know where she was in her life, and I let her know where I was in my life, and it wasn't working. So we went to counseling, and a lot of times it's funny because the people in our lives didn't think that was a good idea, and why were we getting back together? My sons were still at a young age, and they still need their mother in their lives. Even though they were always living with me, they still needed their mother in their lives. So we got back together, started going to counseling, and I put structures in place. Which one of the things my wife said to me was that, well, you didn't put any structure in place, and how do I follow somebody who has no structure? Ding, 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 ding. So we went to counseling and started going back to church, because again, we didn't have God in our lives. Because if you're partying 7 days a week and every other weekend you're going to church, this is never going to work. Never ever going to work. So when you're choosing a mate or a partner, you should always make sure that if they're going to clubs more than they're going to church, that's a red flag. Right? If they're more worrying about their upkeep than the property upkeep, your upkeep, the children upkeep, then that's a red flag. If they're more worrying about themselves than you and the family, then that's a red flag. I didn't have those red flags in my marriage. I just had people interfering that shouldn't interfere, and we allowed them to interfere. So once we got back together and the boundaries were set and we know our roles, because we both had our roles to play, we put God first, and a lot of the things now, the outsiders were now blocked out, because now we understand who we were and what we wanted in life. So I say this to tell married couple, if you don't put set boundaries, then you shouldn't have any expectations of what the other person is supposed to do. You must have boundaries. You must have structure in place. There is a leader, and then there is a supporter. If you're not a leader, you're not going to get any support. So to my free thinkers, be careful in who you bring into your life and who you want to be a part of your life. Free thinkers.